everybody, and welcome back to the internet's best reactions. Yes, we have returned officially for the 2022 season, and I would be lying if I said I didn't feel very good today. If you've been around for a while, you'll know exactly why I'm feeling very positive and very happy, and if you don't, then you'll have to just stay tuned until we talk about it. But we have a lot to discuss. This Bahrain Grand Prix was a tale of two halves, I would say, but we've got lots of reactions, you guys getting involved with hashtag WTF1, so let's dive into your best reactions right now. Oh, but before we do, I'm sorry that I look really unwell, but I've been quite ill the last 5 days, but the Ferrari hype is fueling me, and it's going to be a great episode all the same. Let's start at the very beginning, shall we? At Will Amos 13, Bottas making a bad start. I thought that was probably one of the big things because it was a very clean lap one, wasn't it? We had pretty much 20 runners for the entirety of the race until Gasly's AlphaTauri set aflame. But let's talk about Bottas. He started P6 alongside Hamilton in the Alfa Romeo. I mean, what a baller. And I did predict stupidly on my Twitter that he was going to send it up the inside of Hamilton into turn one because you know what? That could have been a fun storyline. But instead, he lost 8 places on the first lap. There's another meme as well, actually, from @Flynn111. Bottas at the start. However, he did come back to finish P6. So Valtteri had a great race. I don't know how he finished P6 because the only time we were riding on board with him was him struggling to get past, I think it was Sonoda. But Valtteri, I'd say he's had an absolute banger of a debut with Alfa Romeo. At Hugh Muser, everyone is scraping the ground. Yes, there was a lot of sparks, wasn't there, with how low the cars are running to the ground, especially, it's a night race in Bahrain. The sparks are going to look even better. But the cars looked awesome, not going to lie to you. They did look slow in some sections because they are slower in the slower speed corners, but faster in the high speed. But yeah, they look awesome. I'm already massively in love with these 2022 F1 cars, and we've got 22 more races to go. Sign me up. Now, I know I said that the first lap was clean. I completely forgot until I just saw this meme. At Chris Gaming NL, Mick be like. He's just going on his merry way just after the first sector split. Ocon then just shoves a little nose to the right rear of Mick Schumacher's car. He pulls off the greatest 360 I've ever seen. I think he lost maybe about 4 seconds. And he carried on, lost a couple of positions, but what a save from Mick Schumacher. I don't know how much of it was instinct, how much of it was luck, and how much of it was pure skill. But I'm going to say that Mick, did a great job. Sad that he didn't get points today. I'm heartbroken that he didn't manage to do that after sitting in P10 at the safety car restart. But Mick did a quality save. At Barber of Geneva, trying to see the race control messages like, yeah. I think when the graphics were first introduced and shown off, and F1 were like, yeah, this is what the overlay is going to look like this year, me included, I think a lot of us were saying, yeah, this is unbelievable. It looks really good, really slick, really modern, and a new era of Formula One. It matches quite nicely, but they had so many problems with the graphics. I agree that the race control messages were quite difficult to read, and there's definitely tweaks. For me, in qualifying, they had a lot of problems with people setting the fastest first sector, even though they weren't. And also, I think that line is far too thin where it goes purple or green or yellow, depending on if you're going fastest, faster, or slower. So there's definitely tweaks to those graphics for me. At AS_beef, Ocon earning the first penalty of the season. It's Alpine. Yeah, poor Esteban. Just stuck a nose in, I'm sure a lot of drivers are just getting used to the dimensions of the car. The front wing goes on for, it's quite far away. Can't really see it in the cockpit. And, they're so used to a certain dimension that when they change, I'm sure there's going to be a little bit of just working out where the car sits. So Ocon made a little mistake, got a 5-second penalty, and he moved on. At Dave McKeegan, K-Mag versus Turn 1. I know, I thought K-Mag, who of course had such an incredible qualifying after just turning up a week's notice to be a Formula 1 driver again, had an amazing qualifying even after he had some problems in quali, but then it just seemed like maybe he was going to fall backwards. He kept locking up at Turn 1. I think he let the Mercedes of George Russell through, and there was a few errors creeping in that I thought, oh no, not again. Haas looking really good, then they're going to fall away, but P5 for Kevin. That is just sensational. I know both the Red Bulls DNF'd, but Kevin Magnussen, I mean, he trounced Mick Schumacher, it has to be said. That hurts for me to say. But K-Mag, I am absolutely on that hype train. Sorry, Steiner ship. It's great to see Haas back at it. They've become such a lovable team again, haven't they? I wonder why. At I have got Questy1. Hamilton right now. Yeah, he came into the pits, didn't he, and put on the hard tyres for his first stop. And then just came out and it was literally like Bambi on ice. He just could not get any sort of tyre temperature into the first corner, and he was sliding about all over the place. I think Zhou Guanyu went past Hamilton because he was struggling so much. But I love the fact that these drivers are struggling to not only keep these tyres in an operating window or to have to adapt when they come out the pits, but also just the degradation. We had a 3-stop race for a lot of drivers today. We thought it was going to be a 1-stop throughout the season. Pirelli was saying they were going for more durable tyres. I don't know what happened to that. I don't know if they just sent a different batch and, threw the teams a curveball, but I'm here for it. I love it when Formula 1 teams and drivers don't really know what they're doing. That means we get some great action. At PHLSFO, McLaren during the Bahrain Grand Prix. Now, I'm sorry, McLaren fans. We have to speak about it, don't we? It's concerning. Not only because they're off the pace, but because they were basically the slowest car today. I know it's the first race of the season. The competitive order will shake up as teams start to get a handle of their car. But wow, I don't think you could have really asked for a worse race for both Lando and Danny Rick. It was big pain to watch the McLaren team that have just taken step after step after step forward over the last few years. To then see them at the back of the field is quite frightening. Now next we're going to talk about the front. Of course, Leclair leading the way from the front, got a decent getaway and had Verstappen behind him, just trying to challenge him wherever he could. At Schumattman, Leclerc versus Verstappen. Now, this was mad because Leclerc, I'm pretty sure, was 8-9 tenths clear of Verstappen going around the final corner and down the long straight. Verstappen, obviously with the energy deployment and DRS, managed to close and fight Leclerc over the next few laps, which I thought was crazy, and I did react. I will put my hands up and say that I was like, oh no, DRS is far too powerful, when in reality is probably Leclerc used his battery to extend that gap to try and break the DRS, and then Verstappen, it was like a rocket ship down towards turn 1, and it was great racing, to be honest with you. Of course, Leclerc came back at Verstappen down the short straight down towards turn 4, and to be fair to them, they drove clean, they drove fair, and there was no incidents, which, we can't really say the same for last year with Hamilton and Verstappen. At Formula Petra, watching the Leclerc-Verstappen battle. Yeah, I was sweating. A lot of people were probably sweating, but the fact is they were clean, it was great, and, on reflection, it was exactly what these 2022 F1 cars are supposed to do and built for. I'm not sure whether the cars actually can follow that close, because I noticed that there was a big gap between cars as the race went on, and maybe that's due to overheating issues. Of course, the teams have had to strip back on the cooling side of the car to try and make them as narrow, especially for the Mercedes. So it's going to be an interesting one that maybe they will be able to follow closely in terms of not suffering so much with the dirty air. But then there are still other problems like overheating, like managing the tyres as well, where are we ever going to get, wheel-to-wheel battling for 60 laps in a race? Probably not. At Sajansk1_, I'm not leaving 2021. Sorry, it's another McLaren tweet, but I do feel really bad for you McLaren fans. I am sorry that it's gone so badly, because I'm sure your expectations, especially after Barcelona, were so high, and it's not gone well, has it? It really hasn't. At It's Mary Work, Kevin Magnussen in P7 just minding his own business whilst everyone's fighting around him. I know! K-Mag! Honestly, I won't stop hyping this man up. The fact that he has rocked up and just been lightning quick. It does make me wonder whether Haas was a championship winning car last year and we just didn't know it. But I doubt it. But also, if K-Mag wasn't in the car and we had Mazepin, we probably wouldn't be thinking that Haas are actually, a decent midfield car, because of course Mick finished just outside the points, and also they definitely wouldn't be third in the championship. They're third in the Constructors right now, Haas. I know, 10 points is not a massive deal, but they're third in the Constructors. Let that sink in. Oh no, there's another McLaren. I'm sorry, I've forgotten all of these McLaren memes. At FLX MML, the evolution of the trash icon. Wow, I mean, some of you are not pulling any punches. Felix, the one that's popped this meme in, it's savage, absolutely savage. But right now, the McLaren is a bit of a dustbin, isn't it?
Who has won Tweet of the Week?
Now, this whole series continues to be sponsored by Fanatec, which means we still have Tweet of the Week. And this is our next winner, our first winner of the 2022 season. And it goes to Casito_NL. It's just a meme, isn't it? It's another McLaren meme. I'm sorry. I think I kind of blacked out a little bit. I didn't realise I'd like that many McLaren memes, but also they are probably the most meme-worthy team right now because of how bad they were. I'm sorry. I am sorry. The only reason I'm kind of taking the mix so much is because I know that McLaren will bounce back and be very good again, and then you'll be like, Matt, why were you so horrible in round one? They're now really good. But that's because I have confidence that they will bounce back and it'll be absolutely fine. So don't worry. But well done, Casito. You win Tweet of the Week. You've won an amazing Fanatec prize. We'll be messaging you. At Mr. Vortex_GT, Leclair leading the Bahrain GP with a world champion behind him, 2019. Not to scare Matty WTF1. Oh, dearie me. It was scary, not going to lie to you, especially with those last few laps. I remember in 2019, I was actually there in Bahrain, and I stupidly tweeted, and it goes for most of my tweets to be honest, that I was getting bored of Charles Leclerc dominated races, and look what happened. He conked out and broke down in 2019, or not broke down, but didn't manage to win because of a problem in his car. So I didn't want to say any of that this year. I just stayed quiet, and Charles Leclerc won. He is the World Championship leader. I'm going to be buying some Ferrari merch tonight. I can promise you that for free. And I'm going to be insufferable for the rest of the season. I'm not. I'm still going to try and remain objective when it comes to, I'm sure there will be Leclerc Verstappen incidents in the future. But you just got to be happy. Ferrari are back 1-2. Yes. At DK Shadow 73, Ferrari mechanics this year got some teaching by this guy. I know. Their pit stops were unbelievable. They were so quick, like 2.5 seconds, off you go. 2.5 seconds, off you go. 2.4 seconds, off you go. It was so good. Ferrari got their strategy right. They got their pit stops right. I'm scared. I don't know where this has come from. What has happened to the old Ferrari? Don't answer that question. I don't want anything to do with them. At Dan1_2812, learning from the best. Verstappen, my tyres are dead. Hamilton. Yeah, we heard a lot from Max complaining about the tyres. I think we heard a lot of drivers complaining about the tyres, and that's why we saw 3-stop races from some of them, which was surprising, as I say, but Verstappen has taken the sword of my tyres are dead. At Reshik_, oh no, McLaren's fighting Williams. I don't know why those tortoises? I think it's tortoises, that's how you say it, not turtles, tortoises, have lightsabers, but I'm enjoying it. Now, the race wasn't an absolute worldie by any stretch of the imagination. I'm not going to say, yep, here we go, 2022 season, it's going to be full of craziness like we saw last year. It was a decent enough race, 100%. We had a fight for the lead, we had a lot of overtaking in the midfield, but it was kind of just chilling out a little bit towards the end. However, at JFrarius01, safety car. Yep, so the AlphaTauri went up in flames, and all of a sudden you're thinking, I'm thinking, oh God, this is how Leclerc loses the victory. He didn't though, did he? At Carlos Sainz, Leclerc driving behind the safety car. He got very close, didn't he? Thankfully, the Formula 1 cars have incredible brakes on them, so it looked quite dodgy, but in fact, I'm sure Charles had it all under control and wasn't going to crash into the back of the Mercedes safety car. But yeah, he was getting very frustrated, wasn't he? And also, the whole safety car restart, I don't know what Max was doing. Max kind of just had that same side-by-side feel that we saw in Abu Dhabi against Lewis Hamilton, but he completely pinched himself on the apex and just screwed up the entirety of the run down towards turn 1, which allowed Carlos Sainz to then attack him. Not that it mattered anyway because Max's car broke, but I found that a little bit weird, a little bit of an odd choice from Max. At Tim McDF588, no Mick, no. That was, of course, when he was running in P10, safety car restart, and then just lost places. I don't want to reflect on it anymore. I'm upset, but I know Mick's got it in him this year to get some points. At Hannah Schwabe, Red Bull. So, of course, Max Verstappen had those problems. It clearly was something that was deteriorating within the car, and maybe even Red Bull didn't want to say anything to Max about it being a reliability issue because they were just kind of rolling the dice a little bit to try and finish the race because it was so close to the end. But, of course, Max, slowed down and then pretty much just came into the pits at a crawling speed, and then Perez, only a few laps later, just the engine seizing on him and just making the car spin into turn 1, and all of a sudden Red Bull scores 0 points after sitting in P2 and P4. I mean, it's huge amount of points lost. If it genuinely is a Red Bull versus Ferrari at least battle for the first half of the season, they're 43 points behind in the Constructors, and Max and Sergio both have 0 compared to Charles's 25 and Carlos's 18, so it's a big point swing.
It's time for Social Media Team Championship.
Right, Social Media Team Championship time now. Yeah, we're back. The teams are just pumping out the memes. So let's dive into who is the top 3 from the Bahrain Grand Prix. In third place, we have at Scuderia Ferrari. Admin is having a heart attack, as were everybody else. Well, at least all the Ferrari fans, and probably Red Bull fans, and probably McLaren fans, all for their own separate reasons. But yes, Scuderia Ferrari, you not only get a 1-2, but you also score a point in the Social Media Team Championship. Get in. In second place, we have Mercedes-AMG F1. You love to see it. Now, I cannot confirm or deny. This was tweeted at 4:40 p.m. local time, I think. Yes, my time, UK time, not local time. I suspect by the reaction it's got that this was tweeted around the time of the Red Bulls failing. Can't confirm, but if it is, it's sassy. Maybe a little bit over the top. But it's also worthy of some points in the Social Media Team Championship. You know, it's got, at this point of recording, 88.9 thousand likes. There's a lot of people jumping on the same thinking that Mercedes have done something a bit naughty, a bit cheeky there. I hope we don't have the teams celebrating the other teams' failures, because that's not quite what we want to see in Formula One. But at the same time, you know, it's left a bit of ambiguity in the minds of Formula One fans. And the winners of the Social Media Team Championship are Haas F1. Yes, the reigning champions from last year have started with full points. Time for Gunter to get an upgrade. The Steiner ship is growing. Oh, God, Haas, what can they do anything wrong? It's just unbelievable. Max points. They score fifth, 10 points in the Bahrain Grand Prix. I want to see Haas do well the entire year. I hope they keep up in the development race. I really do.
And now it's time for Race Rundown with your host, Matthew Gallagher.
Right, race rundown time now. Not even phased. Just going to bang it out because I'm so vibing with the fact it's a Ferrari 1-2 and Charles Leclerc 1. Here we go. The finishers of the Bahrain Grand Prix were Leclair, Sainz, Hamilton, Russell, Leclair, Sainz, Hamilton, Russell, I tell you, I've been so unwell. Here we go. Leclair, Sainz, Hamilton, Russell, Magnussen, Bottas, Ocon, Tsunoda, Alonso. Leclair, Sainz, Hamilton, Russell, Magnussen, Bottas, Ocon, Tsunoda, Alonso, Zhou, Schumacher, Stroll, Albon, Ricciardo, Norris, Latifi, Hulkenberg, Perez, Verstappen. That'll do, because my brain will literally explode. And the non-finishers were Gasly. He was going to get a couple of points, wasn't he? Gasly. Right, that is it. The first race is done and dusted of the 2022 F1 season, and that means the first episode of the Internet's Best Reactions is also finished. Please leave a like if you're happy to see this series come back, and also leave a like if you're just loving the fact Formula One is back. 7 days' time until we go racing in Saudi Arabia. I want to thank everybody as well for 1 million subscribers. If you hadn't seen other videos, I just wanted to thank everybody. It was amazing to hit that milestone. I cannot wait for another year of Formula One with all of you watching. So thank you so much. Hashtag WTF1 if you want to get involved next time, and you may well win a Fanatec amazing prize if you win Tweet of the Week. So yeah, I will see you very soon. We've got the podcast coming out on Tuesday, but if you're a Team WTF1 member, you'll be able to watch it live tomorrow. And we've also got lots of other reactive content over the next few days. So look forward to that. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.